Talking to head coach Mike Clark, and they just defeated Albright, a good Albright team, 29-14. And Mike, if you had to write a script, it'd be pretty gutsy to say you'd be 3-0 in the MAC after the first 3 games of this schedule. It
would have been, John. I mean, when it, and we've talked about this before, but when we first looked at the schedule, we knew Brockport would be a solid team. But then you're looking at Del Val, who's #1 in the MAC. You look at Albright, who's been good. Lebanon Valley, who's been had some 8-win years the first 3 weeks of the season. And boy, September was a challenge. But we've got a great group of kids, a committed group of kids. And those guys came out and after the opening loss have really just refocused and worked hard to consistently improve.
I know you have some things you have to work on, and let's talk about some positive things. One thing is, I've been saying that the character of Lycoming will be tested, and I think the first quarter showed a little of that. And what kind of a team this is.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, John. I mean, look, Brockport, in a similar situation, I don't know if we would have done that a month ago, but this, again, we've got a great group of guys. We've got kids that believe we can be successful, and we just knew that if we could make it a 1-score game and then continue to stop them, well, we could claw back in it, and that's what happened. I think they won the first quarter clearly. We controlled the second quarter, and then we were fortunate enough to play the third and fourth quarters much the same way, forced a bunch of turnovers, and it really, those those defensive turnovers where we end up inside the 5, they're the difference in the game. So it's a great team effort. We got to fix some things special teams wise. We've got to snap better. The block punt led to 1, of course. We got to get those things fixed. But all things considered, we're thrilled with the result.
Key with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, Zach Zapp Jr. Kicks that field goal into the wind. It's pretty brisk wind, and that put you up by 8. That seemed to really change the momentum.
It did. That was a big one, and at that point we wish we had the extra point before it because it would have made it a 2-score game. But that was a great job by Zach. He's missed a couple kicks that he would like to have back, but he knows he can, and I'm really proud of him. He wrote on his goal card this year or this week. We do a goal card every week, and his goal, he wanted to overcome himself is what he wanted to do, and I think that right there was a perfect example. We needed that kick, and he stepped up, and that's why he's been an all-conference kid. He kicks big in big situations.
The defense just
tremendous.
3 interceptions. Tanner Trotman has really stepped in, sophomore in that safety position.
He's a good player, and we're thrilled with his development. We knew he was talented as a freshman. We knew he was really athletic, and he was in a tough spot with a Ryan Fenningham and a Ray Bierbach there, and then he had a great preseason, and even then it was still Ryan Fenningham and Cody Butler, and then Cody and Ryan are both hurt, and I got to tell you, Tanner and Caleb Schertzer have really stepped up and done a great job, but especially Tanner. I think it's his 3rd interception of the year. He's just around the football, and he does what our defensive coaches want him to do or coach him to do. So thrilled with him. He continues to get way better, and we're I think a great example of the type of kid that we have on our team.
Matt Tallarico, he stepped up too.
Yeah, Matty's awesome. 4-year player. That was a big time play. We used to give him a hard time because it took him a couple years to get his first pick, but he's smart and experienced and very good, and I think today that play was a great example of it, and really a game changer, puts the game away.
I was impressed with the defensive line in the second half, how they got to the quarterback.
Absolutely. We were there early a little bit, John. We just didn't tackle him. We missed some sacks, so it was nice to start to finish that. I think that really changed the course of the game. Early on, we were missing some sacks, and it gave them, and they're a really good passing team, the opportunity to get open, and later in the game, as we pressured them and we were able to sack them some, it limited their ability to throw the ball effectively.
One last thing, I think the defensive secondary stepped up and caused opportunity for those sacks because of the tight coverage.
Yeah, I think it goes hand in hand, right, John? When those guys, when you can get there and you can sack him, they have to cover less, right? Which is, early in the game we might have been covering pretty well, but it was just taking us too long. So they're absolutely positively related. When they cover well and we can, and then he's got nowhere to go, then ultimately we get to him. I think that was that's second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, that didn't happen. I don't know if it was coverage related or sack related or both, but when you cover well and then you can apply pressure, it makes it really hard to throw the ball.
Enjoy the night, and we'll be talking to you.
We will. Thanks, John. Take care. All right. Yeah, bye.
This is a production of LycomingFootball.com, your 2012 Warriors connection.